What it do? Dream team. It's your boy D Neal back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with Larry Bird couldn't play today? Question mark. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. What we got?
You know, when I think of a player like Larry Bird, I think of a Dirk Nowitzki, except more explosive and with the passing ability of a LeBron James. To me, that's Larry Bird.
Okay.
Larry Bird had everything. He could do it all. What inspired me to do a video on him today is, you know, a lot of people, they see Larry Bird, they think of Larry Bird, they say, oh, he couldn't play today. So I try to find his best highlights. So, you know, not only can I break him down, you can also see the breakdown of what he can do by watching him play.
I think true greatness transcends eras. True greatness can play in any era. They could adapt to whatever era they're playing in. And Larry Bird is one of those truly great players.
Just to see what type of player he was. He was an all-time great player, all-time great competitor. And I just wanted to make a video of him today just to show what he was able to do. So before Larry Bird was drafted to the Boston Celtics, the year before he came there, they only won 29 games. So his first year there, he was the only new addition to the squad. They didn't even have Kevin McHale or Robert Parrish yet, and they went from 29 games to 61 games. That's how the turnaround was his first season there. That's how immediate his impact was on the squad. He won Rookie of the Year. He led them to the Eastern Conference Finals. They lost to Philadelphia that year. By year two, that's the year they did bring in Robert Parrish. And they drafted Kevin McHale, even though Kevin McHale wasn't a starter. He was nowhere near the all-star player he ended up becoming. But by year two, he was able to lead them to the finals. They were able to defeat the Moses Malone-led Houston Rockets. So in his second season, he was able to bring them a championship. Larry Bird was. The next two seasons, in 82, they lost to Philly again in the conference finals. In 83, they got bounced by, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was the Milwaukee Bucks in the second round. And then in 1984, he was able to lead them to a championship again in a classic 7-game series against the Los Angeles Lakers against Magic Johnson. He was the MVP of the finals in 84. He was the MVP of the finals also in 86 when they beat the Hakeem Olajuwon-led Houston Rockets.
Incredible.
From 1984 to 1986, he won 3 consecutive regular season MVP awards. He's the only player in the modern era to do that. And when I say modern era, I mean pretty much since the ABA and the NBA merged together, or you could say when they brought in the three-point line in 1980. Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell did that. But Larry Bird was the only player to do that in more of the modern era, to win 3 consecutive MVP awards. That's an impressive feat. And he also won the first 3 three-point shootouts that they hosted at the All-Star game.
Oh my God.
And he was the
Bro, Larry's so nice with it, bro. He's so smooth and so nice with it, bro. Yeah, Larry his game would transcend any era, bro. Larry was
the first player to go 50, 40, 90. And for you brothers and sisters that don't know what that means, when you go 50, 40, 90, that means your shooting percentage overall was 50%. You shot 40% from 3, and you shot 90% from the foul line. Since then, I think there's been about 6 or 7 players that's done that. I know KD did it, Kyrie, Steph Curry, Steve Nash, Dirk, Reggie Miller, I think Mark Price, all the top, elite level shooters. But Larry Bird was the first one to do that though. Larry Bird was a great all-around player. A lot of people don't know that even on the defensive end, he was impactful. He made the all-defensive second team 3 times. He never made the first team, but he was voted to be on the second team 3 times. And what him and Magic Johnson did for the league in the 80s, they brought a lot of light to the NBA with their rivalry they had. And that started back in college when Larry Bird played for Indiana and Magic Johnson played for Michigan State. They faced off in the finals, the NCAA finals that year in '79. And, of course, Magic and Michigan State won. but that carried over into the NBA. They faced each other in the finals 3 times. Magic did beat him 2-1. Larry Bird got 3 championships in that era, and Magic Johnson was able to get 5. Although I will say this, towards the end of Larry Bird's career, pretty much from 88 going forward, he did get hit with a handful of different injuries that kind of slowed him down and probably cut his career a little bit shorter than what it would have been.
I always hated injuries, man, because there's so many great players, bro. Like my favorite player, Dwayne Wade, who just faced a plethora of injuries, and it was like, dang, bro, like they were already great, but they could have ascended to the heavens had it not been for injuries. But I guess it's just a part of the game.
But even in the time period he played really about 12, not even 12. I mean, I'll say 12 seasons. He missed an entire season altogether, but even his last 2 seasons, he missed a good portion of the season. At least like 25 games, if I'm not mistaken, in 91 and 92. But his team was in the playoffs every year, and what he was able to accomplish in that time, I mean, it speaks for itself. 3 MVPs, 3 titles.
Yeah.
And every full healthy season he played, he was an all-star. So Larry Bird is a player that, you know, people sleep on nowadays. His style of play, in my opinion, would fit even better in the NBA today because he could shoot, he had the long range, he could handle, his passing was non-pareil. And, of course, I'm not one of those people anyways that tries to say, oh, this player couldn't play today, or, you know, this player that plays today couldn't play back then and all that stuff. If you're a great player, I believe you could play in any era. I'm not big on that talk. A player with all the skills like a Larry Bird, he could fit in any era, especially today. But I wanted to do a video on him just to cover what he brought to the table, what he accomplished, to show what he could do all around. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it's been a little minute since I made my last video, but of course, you know, I do have a life that I'm living. I got things I have to handle in my real life. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I appreciate you guys who have been viewing my channel. There will be more to come, and there is a podcast coming up tomorrow at 5 o'clock p.m. So stay tuned, and everybody have a blessed day.
Yeah, I mean, it's simple and plain. He definitely could play in any area you throw him in. That's all we got. You guys got a favorite video suggestion, you can subscribe to Patreon and drop it in the comment section. It's your boy D Neal. Out.